Neri, there's a lot of optimism about the global economy. How optimistic are you, and have you been encouraged by the Phase 1 deal?
Yes, good morning. I'm encouraged, I'm optimistic. We see signs of improvements. Obviously, last week was a step in the right direction. And from the technology perspective, I'm even more optimistic because obviously we see an acceleration of the digital transformation that's impacting every industry, which means, the data around us continue to grow at an exponential level, and that data has value. And therefore, we see customers continue with some very strong stated demand that we expect that to be a positive benefit for us.
In terms of those opportunities, how do you hope to capitalize on them?
Well, the world is changing. Obviously, we live today in what we call the mobile-first, cloud-first approach. We do most of our personal and professional business through the mobile phone. But we see a world where, application and data live everywhere. And we see the advancement of what we call the edge, the intelligent edge, where everything is connected. And that's where the vast majority of the data is created. And for us, that's a big opportunity for us because the first step in that journey is connectivity. And then obviously bring the cloud closer to the data. And that's why we made an announcement to invest $4 billion over the 4 years period to develop the technologies to take advantage of that change.
When you take a look at overall customer demand, though, it's been dropping over the last quarters. I mean, is that likely to persist? What will you do to address the issues?
Well, obviously, we live in a cyclical type of business, but the reality is, as I said earlier, the data continues to grow, and that data needs to be stored, needs to be analyzed, and value has to be extracted. Obviously, we see connectivity increase everywhere with IoT and other type of technologies. But also we see the shift to what we call as a service. Customers are looking at alternative ways to consume technology. And this is where we as a company establish a clear vision and strategy for ourselves to become the edge-to-cloud platform as a service. And we believe that will give us the opportunity to drive sustainable, profitable growth.
Server and storage, how does that look in 2020 and beyond?
It's gonna be a journey for us because obviously the server and storage get deployed in different configurations, and now more and more what we call workload optimized solutions. I believe the need for computational capabilities will continue to grow, but in different shape and form factors. Ultimately, we see the opportunity at the edge to bring that compute and storage closer where the data is. And we have some very strong offerings in that portfolio, and we see the momentum. We see the momentum with Aruba, and we see the momentum with our edge line products, particularly in the industrial space, where we see an acceleration of the digitization of manufacturing.
You talked earlier about how you're pretty optimistic and Phase 1 sets us on the right track. Geopolitics, though, putting a dampener on how companies spend. What are you seeing? What anecdotal evidence can you share with us?
Well, we are a very global company, and so 60% of our business comes from outside the United States. And interesting enough, we see good momentum outside the United States.
What's good momentum? Can you quantify that?
Good momentum is we see growth in countries like the UK, France, even in Germany, where people believe there is a little bit of slowdown. But for us, it's all about serving the customers in this new life we live today, which is basically helping them accelerate business outcomes. Technology is there to accelerate business outcomes. And for us is providing the right expertise to design and deploy and run the right infrastructure to deliver those outcomes. And the outcomes come from the data. So that's what we're really focused on. And obviously, our economy is doing better than others. Obviously, the United States is in a good path. But even in economies where we feel there is some geopolitical challenges, we have seen some good momentum in our business. So for us, the most important part is focus on the customer.
Are you then using Davos as an opportunity to meet new customers? And if you could share with us the kind of conversations you're having.
Yeah, no, obviously that's the reason why I come to Davos, is to meet with customers. That's the biggest value I see. And obviously I meet with both CEOs and CIOs who are looking for partners who can help them move faster than ever before. We have a say in our company, the future belongs to the fast. And so that's the value, and creating pipelines. I just came out of a couple of days where I was actually in Sweden before Davos, where we actually signed, this is public information, a significant deal where we're going to provide the infrastructure and the AI technologies for autonomous vehicles in a company based in Sweden. But as I look at the type of customers I meet here, obviously a lot of emphasis on the Middle East. The opportunities there are pretty significant, but even the European customer base. And all they're looking for, a partner who understands this digital transformation and how they can accelerate outcomes from the data.